shouldn't wait that long. Let's stay popping drum. Did you see they only show a couple seconds of the bucket sitting in? That's why I usually think like I don't know. If they did, I mean, a lot of actors should be single. They're not fucking for real. So, what's going on, guys? I'm gonna do a quick video on these ankle tattoos I'm doing for the 1996 and go over some of the equipment that I have here. And what I'm using here now would be the Bishop shader. I'm using the Bishop shader with Bishop 15 curved mags. I'm doing this in two different ways. For the left leg, I'm going to use a curved mag, as you see me using here now, throughout the entire process of this design. And for the other leg, I will be using a Bishop 9-round liner to outline it, and then go in with a 15 mag to fill it in. But what I'm doing here now is basically just brushing in, or some people call it shoveling, the ink into the skin as consistent and evenly packed as possible. So as you see, I'm going back and forth with like little shorter to medium strokes to just make sure it's packed in really, really solid. And this is a very, very quick and effective way to make sure you put in less trauma to the skin as possible. Because this technique is really not for a beginner or anyone who's new to tattooing. This technique here, you will really like scar someone's skin or cause a lot of skin trauma if you're not consistent with your hand motions and what it is you're doing. If you just notice, I turned the mag on its side and use it as if it was a liner, just to get a crispier edge. But this right here is one of my favorite techniques to use when doing bold fill-ins on things like this. It does give it, over time, without that liner, a more fuzzy or faded look, which is cool to me. I actually enjoy that look over time. But the liner is why I'm going to show you guys both ways, just so you guys get a visual look at which one you think is better for you guys to do. Because everyone is not comfortable with lining or shaping or sculpting out lines with the mag needle, especially with the needle grouping this large. But if you notice that this one already on this calf is not taking long to finish at all. It's very satisfying to do it as well as watch it get done. Going into the next number is a bit more trickier than how the one was, because as you see, it has a lot more turns and curves. But with the mag, I treat it just like I would do any other painting or paintbrush, excuse me. And I just brush it in evenly as if I'm doing a full stroke up and down. As you can see here, I turn it on a bit of an angle just to make sure I'm getting that smooth curve and crispy lines around the edge. I may go in and touch this up on the edges with a liner, but as you see here, it won't be too necessary to do so. It's to make sure with this technique that you are getting a clean, you keeping your work surface very, very clean, keeping the canvas skin very clean. This isn't something you really can do with a messy work surface, because you will probably waver outside the lines, then that will cause you to just go a little bit bolder than what is necessary. But it's very, very important to get to those points when doing these Greek or like Old English letters like these. I'm not using much Vaseline either, just a little bit to coat it and wipe it back off. But see, I don't start from where I left off at. I go straight from the opposite end of the spectrum and bring it down into what I've already completed. Because with this technique, I see it's a lot better to push down into the skin instead of pushing upward, if you understand what I mean by like going down and bringing that pressure, helping with gravity, bringing everything down with the ink. And there you go. See here now, I'm putting it right on that angle, and brushing it on out to get a very solid and even build up of this black layer here. As you see here, this is the finished product. Just going in and cleaning up some of the edge work, line work with this mag. And you guys be the judge what you guys think. It came out pretty dope, pretty quick and effective. Less trauma to the skin. As you can see, it's not much swelling. And that is why I really like tattooing bolder designs like this with just a mag and not even worrying about doing the line work with it. Just because with the line work, it tends to swell up very quickly when using a lining needle on such tight areas like these, and it makes it a bit more difficult to go in with that mag and get right up to those lines. But you guys are about to check out the other leg. I'm about to get right into it right now. Yeah, so I want to know in the comments below. Let me know if you prefer to line it first and then use a mag, or save a little bit of time and just go right in with the mag. But check it out. We're about to get started right now. Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, so as you see right now, I just threw a little extra ink off the tip of the cartridge because I hate when I get that little bubble line, that ink bleed going into the skin. But with lining is always very important to use very long lines. Pull those lines very heavily and very consistently. When I say heavy, I don't mean more pressure. I just mean to make sure you're going in with intent and you're not doing it in a way that it seems you're a bit nervous. Because with line work, you want to make sure everything is very clean and consistent. And one pull of lines is always the best going in and out to get it over with. And one thing you guys should notice, I'm tattooing a person of color. They're not very dark skinned, but it's just a brown person. Our skin tends to swell up a little bit more than someone who isn't a person of color. So you need to be mindful of that and not to worry on not seeing the line the first time around. You have to be very confident in what it is that you're doing and knowing that you're getting it in there. Once that swelling goes down, you're going to have a very solid, very clean line. And that is what a lot of beginners seem to mess up at. They tend to overwork a line because they don't see what they initially thought it should look like in the beginning. I say get in, get out. And if you see anything that you do need to touch up, just, go back to it and touch it up then. But initially, just go ahead and hit that line once and keep it moving. That ink is going in there, that needle is hitting it. You don't need to worry about it going back and tearing up things. That's the worst thing a person can do. And with each one of these lines, as you can see here now, I'm doing one line, one pull, in and out. Using Vaseline, just keep the skin lubricated so that the ink doesn't bleed across the skin and that the needle glides very smoothly. And yeah, right now I'm currently using a Bishop 9-round liner because I want to have a bold line on this. So when I go back in with that 15 curved mag, it just, bread and butter straight up to it. And if you haven't noticed, it is a bit of a longer process. This is the highly recommended process for many tattooers though, because that line will hold that tattoo in place for years to come. So it's very important that you know the differences in what it is that you're doing and that the approach that you're taking is very consistent, and you think about those things on how this tattoo will heal later with years to come. I'm going to fast forward a bit into the next part of this tattooing. As you can see here now, I'm about to do a very long line. I am going to go and pull this sucker from end to end. 400-meter dash all the way around the track. Oh, here we go. Let's finish it up strong. And you're out. One line pass. That's what I'm talking about. That is what I like to see, what I like to do. It's very satisfying. If you're into those satisfying nail clicking videos, this should be for you. And I can't lie, this Bishop wine liner is the shit when it comes to lining. I swatched out from the Bishop wine shader because the shader is just that. It's for shading, as you can see with the other tattoo that I just did. And this liner is just that for lining. And I'm gonna switch it back out right now because I'm done with the lining, and we're gonna go right in with that shader and pack that in there. And as you notice, I am shading like a wild man. Still very consistent, but the thing about lining when you're shading, after you done line the piece, you're a lot more free to go in and just do what it is that you do. I had to go a little bit more slower with the other one. Kind of want that stencil to wipe away, and then I'd be left with nothing and have to go back in and redraw things. So that's another reason why outlining things are very important, because it gives you the opportunity to be more free in what it is that you're doing. And I can already see how crispy this one is coming out. So I may go back in with the other leg and just take that liner and just edge it up from wall to wall, just to make sure they're both evenly, consistently tatted pieces. And as you can see here, I'm going in the same technique, back and forth shoveling technique as before. Nothing different. It's just the outline is there, so I'm more freely to go in and work that magic and still pack it in consistently and evenly to do as we did with the left leg. That's pretty much it, guys. So let me know in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, like these videos if this is what is helping you out as a new tattooer, and we'll see you guys next time.